Day Live. I'm Michelle Murata. For just meeting for the very first time, hello, welcome, good day.
I doubt that. I'm Kyle Trueblood.
Wait, what do you doubt that there was the first time?
Yeah, for sure. People know you.
Thank you. Kyle Trueblood, and we have the lovely Kimmy Seltzer. Welcome to the Orange Stage.
Thank you for joining. Yeah, thank you for joining.
I have to do an introduction for those that are watching. I'm just read a little bit about how amazing you are. You're an image expert, a dating coach. You're also a therapist. You have clients all over the world. You unveil their most beautiful self, whether it's updating their image or transforming their dating life. And your philosophy is for those who work from the inside out to achieve your goals and boost your self-confidence. You have a podcast with over 250 episodes called the Charisma Quotient. You're also a Soy TV host, and you had the very first ever live dating show on Amazon Live. Welcome, Miss Kimmy Seltzer, to the program.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. And now on Good Day Live.
Yes.
Yeah, now I'm
Guys
Good Day
rock.
Live with Michelle and Kyle.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what do you guys want to talk about? I mean,
We just want to talk about dating all day long.
I want to say,
know.
how are you? But I feel like you like to say that.
well, right. I like to put people on the couch.
Yeah.
However, we're all sitting on chairs,
on
couches. So
Couchy chairs.
it's all a good discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
What do we start
because
with?
we were talking about your dating
Yeah.
life.
Yes.
So we could start there.
Sure. I met a wonderful human, wonderful guy on a plane over a year ago. And he has certain lifestyle habits that I'm not cool with.
Do you want to share what those
mean,
habits are? or-
Those are his things, but like
Uh-huh.
I'm not cool with it. Like it's just I'm all about health and wellness, and a good friend of mine lost his boyfriend to a situation that is in the same category, and I just said, I can't. I love him too much to say, like, I can't stand by you and say this is okay when I know that I'm almost enabling you,
Yeah.
and so that to me is really hard.
That's so hard. How long have you guys been together?
A year and like a month.
That's a long run.
Yeah. I mean, and what's interesting is when we met, he said that, he told me everything. He said he's sober and all that. And I was like, great. Like, and in my brain, that means somebody who doesn't drink or does drugs.
Mm.
That's
Mhm.
how I interpret it. His interpretation was somebody who struggles with
Right.
drugs. But because like,
Struggle's a bad word, but you got it.
or like
Yeah.
has a complicated whatever. Anyway, but he might be watching the show, and I love him. But it's just
Well, that's really hard because we were talking about red flags, right? Like right before we came on the show. And it's funny, like when you're first getting to know someone, it's the honeymoon phase. And like you may hear the pink flags or red flags, but you overlook them because like it's amazing, right? In the honeymoon phase. So it's like, this is probably something I should pay attention to, but you're amazing. I love you,
Yes.
And so it's probably been like bubbling. And now that you're getting to know, like now it's like push comes to shove and this is like the real stuff, right?
Yeah, the real stuff.
Yeah.
And we have a very strong bond, definitely a very strong bond. And I love him. Like, I don't think I've ever loved anyone the amount that I love this person. It's very true. Like, it's just, he came into my life at such a crucial point, and I came into his life. It's just like this bond is just, I believe in, because I wasn't dating anyone for like ever. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's another whole category,
Because
right?
My mom was sick, and so like I focused on like my family, and I was just like I didn't have the time or space or energy to really date, and like I did date a little bit here or there, but like I would sit across from someone, and I would hear what they would have to say, in their opening argument or their opening statement, and I would already hear the red flags. And I would be like, oh, no, not another date. Nope, nope. And it would be so fast. It'd be like this. And then when my mom passed, I met Connor on the plane coming back from the funeral. And I was not supposed to sit next to him. I was supposed to sit next to somebody else, which was really weird because they sat me on the I never pick my seats. And I was put all the way at the back of the plane in between these two like teenage boys. And I was like, this is going to be hell. And then out of nowhere, this flight attendant comes running down the aisle and goes, who's Michelle Murad? And I'm like, I'm Michelle Murad. And she pulls me up and she sits me next to like the cutest guy. And there was nobody sitting in between us. And we just talked for 5.5 hours straight.
Oh my God.
It was really beautiful. Yeah. That story is unreal.
Well, it's amazing that he came into your life at that moment when there was like when one door closes, the other open, you know, that kind of cliche saying, but there's like an association and attachment to that moment too with him. So there's like also that
bond almost.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah. Oh my God. Well, so where are you at now? Like,
he knows how I feel. And he, you know, has been very open and honest, and I've been very open and honest. And I said, when you're ready, or if you are, then we can, you know, revisit this. But I have to put, like, I don't want to ever be the person that's like, it's okay when it's not okay for me.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, what would this look like in 5 years? Like, if this continues like this, like, and I never, when my friend lost his boyfriend, it was very much like a jolting experience. And this happened literally the day before my mom's birthday, like a month ago. And it shook me to my core. And I was like, this is a sign from the universe where it's like, this could be you if you don't reevaluate. So.
Yeah. Well, that too, because of the loss of your mom, like there's probably this fear that's just rushing through you with this now situation with someone you love. And so I can see why like the guard is up. So have you guys ever like thought about or tried couples therapy? Like
he brought it up. But I think like he's getting his own, like he has his own coach, which is great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I'm open to it, but I also feel like that seems like so much for this is still the beginning, you know?
It's not. Really? Yeah, I know. I'm just here to say like, and that's like the days of old where we used to think, oh, well, couples go into therapy when they're in trouble or like, you know, you're actually in a marriage. And now couples are entering couples therapy like really early on because, you know, people want a successful relationship now and it's not shamed anymore. It's something that's really awesome to have a safe space to be able to talk about both of these things.
Yeah.
With a neutral party. Because like while he's bringing stuff to his therapist, right? Then you have your stuff, right?
Mean, I'm not perfect in any way, shape or form. I'm dealing with my own anxieties and fears and like all of that. So like, I know it's not just one side. It's definitely both sides.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be like one recommend. I mean, without going down a rabbit hole into like having a whole session here on Amazon Live.
Right. If you're watching, you know,
yeah, and we could totally do that at another time. But that would be like a quick kind of suggestion because I just feel like you two need to like kind of come together in a neutral space to talk about compromising these things because this is a big thing.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah, and it's going to keep like roadblocking you.
Yeah, because I definitely want to, you know, like have, I don't necessarily know if I want children, but I definitely want to have a family unit. Like I want to get married for sure. And I want that. Like, and so anyway, that's my sitch.
Well,
so technically I am single, but I'm really not. Like I am, but I'm
you're not.
I am.
Yeah.
Not.
Now you're really not.
I love together.
Yeah.
Well, but the tarot card was like, go out on dates.
Right. Well, because you're saying that because you're fearful, right? Yeah. And so it's easier to say I'm single than to really like face this. And I'm just saying like, I'd recommend doing that because
he'd be down. Who knows?
Well, he said he was down.
Well, I mean, this was like a couple months ago, so who knows?
But he already said it. So what would change his mind?
I don't know if he's watching this right now. I feel like he'd be like, "Oh,
if you're watching, like, well, we can bring him here. Like, we can start like here."
I was like, "No way, that's not happening."
Hey, I did the dating show with your relationship. Like, I'm all about that. So maybe
I love relationships. Listen, I'm open. Like I told you, my mom was a clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
And before she died, she said, can you just give someone a chance? Because like I kept meeting all these guys and I was like, nope. And so she said, like, the biggest thing that brought her down was the fact that I wasn't with a family, not my own family, but I wasn't surrounded by family on Thanksgiving in 2021. Or no, I'm sorry, 2020. And then when I met Connor, one of the first things he said to me, and we started dating immediately. It was like that same weekend. Like, we met on a Monday. We met on a Monday on the plane. And then our first date was that Saturday. And because he lives in Santa Barbara. So so he came down here, and it was like the cutest first date ever. And then he was like, I guess like a couple weeks later, he was like, I know this is so forward. He was like, but do you want to like come to Thanksgiving and be with my family? And like, cause I know like with everything that just happened, and I was like, that would be amazing. So like I looked around, I was in Jackson Hole surrounded by like this beautiful family that just like embraced me, and like beautiful. I've never been to Jackson Hole. So it was like this whole, like, it was like fairy tale.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a fairy tale.
Well, and knowing that, like, and that's something that your mom wants. It's also something that you're holding on to, you know, it's like, I don't know. I think you should fight for it. But by doing that, you need to like work through it with him.
Yeah.
For sure. I always say like what we want is sometimes what we fear. And that's why people get stuck, right? And then you're like spinning donuts in the road, you know, because you're chasing your tail, because it's scary to open yourself up. Yeah.
It's super scary.
So... Well, that's just okay. And what about, he's just sitting there over there, like really quiet, like he's trying to like,
he's like my older brother from another mother, very protective and very.
Do you know
loving.
Connor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We went on a date. So I cast him. So this is a really funny story. I wrote a show called The Charlotte Chronicles.
Oh, okay.
It's about me and my dog. And so he was not supposed to play the guy. There was like a love interest.
That has nothing to do with my dating life, though.
Wait, hold on.
This has nothing to do with my dating life.
We know each other.
No, she was talking about my dating life, not how we met.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking.
No, that's cool too.
No, I'm just letting her know. It has nothing to do with my dating life.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you want to give her my background? Go ahead.
I'm going to give a little of like.
Sure, go ahead.
Because clearly he cares and knows you.
Yes,
So
yes.
I understand. Yeah. So a little bit backstory.
So we are, very good friends.
So he's protective of you.
Very protective.
Because your body language just now, like we were talking, like you have something to say.
He's
like there's not like you're holding back on something.
I want to give people their space and their just time.
He's like, nope.
You can't rebuttal everything, right? No, no.
You have more info, right?
Like, I have a lot of info.
He's very supportive.
It's not that I don't want her to be in this relationship. It's not about the relationship for me. It's more about her life and Michelle's life, and if it's and if anything's impeding it, you know what I mean? So if this guy's gonna get in the way of your dream, then I get a little bit protective over that, right? This is not the boyfriend show. This is the Michelle show. So it's like
Michelle show.
No, I mean not that. I mean I'm not talking about the show. I mean like it's not the Connor show. It's the Michelle show. So it's like, you know, like whatever he does we can't. He's a very this is international television. I wish we didn't say his name, but in my opinion, there's a lot of tumultuous events that could disrupt and distract her from doing what she has a very busy life and a lot to do for her work. And so I'm just, as like an older brother figure, like, okay, well, make sure you can still get all your stuff done. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you're still driven. Make sure you're not veering off. I've had friends. I've lost friends.
Right.
So I've seen the situation. I'm from Jersey, so it's like this kind of thing in New York City and Jersey. Kind of, it's around, right?
Yeah.
And there's been a crisis in the country as well. So it's not just him. He's a good guy. I met him. The only thing we have against each other, we're football fans.
Oh, you boys! I swear to God, that it always comes down to that somehow.
We spoke about it for like an hour too.
Yeah, when they met, I thought things were going along really, really well. Then all of a sudden, they started talking about. He started talking about the Eagles, and then Connor started talking about the Commanders, and I was like, oh my God, I think they're going to start fighting. Like, we didn't know what to do. I was like,
No, again, like he's a good guy. It's just, and it's nothing against him. It's like I said, it's not about him.
I totally hear what you're saying.
You know
and also like you were in a role of caretaking for a really long time. And the last thing you want to do is now have to take care of him.
Yeah, that's the
so that's, I think, what you're alluding to.
Exactly.
But even more important for you to be like in some sort of safe space to set some boundaries for yourself and for him. Yeah. So there's a contract between the two of you, what he needs to do in order to move forward. Because if not, then you guys are just going to keep doing this dance. Yes. Yeah. And the donuts happen.
Yeah. Or vicious circle. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I said. I like sent him a message and I was like, please make it work. I'm like, sent little hearts.
Yeah. What else can you do?
That's all I can do.
We might have started with me because I don't have as deep as a story in my dating life.
No, but I mean,
do though.
Do I?
Yes, because Kyle.
All right, yeah, let's talk about Kyle.
Kyle is a very good-looking dude. He meets women all day, every day, and they flock to him.
Oh.
Why are you looking at me like that? They do. Like, I can't tell you how many women come up to him and they'll give them his like information. I'm right there standing there. I'm like, even guys like will be like, I'm gonna take you out to coffee tomorrow. And I'm like, what about like chopped liver? Because like we hang out a lot. But and we work together. Yeah. But you can
we connect. We connect. Yeah.
So you have charm, you have charisma, you flirt, like
engage.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So where are you getting stuck?
The dating life, and definitely. I think you and I were talking about this. I think I have like a little bit of a cavalier attitude.
Cavalier.
Yeah, when it comes to just I think they're. It was Gina, my friend, a good friend of mine. I was like, gee, like why? I go on these dates one time, going great, and then kind of fizzles, and I saw a repeated pattern, which is when I started worrying. I was like, oh, I am going on like one date and kind of just like I'm fizzling out, they're fizzling out, but it's a repeated pattern. The denominator is one date. So I was like, maybe I'm doing something wrong here.
You might be the common denominator.
Oh, 1,000%. Right. What am I doing that is the common denominator? Like 1,000, it's me. But what am I doing? So I was like, maybe it's my cavalier attitude.
What do you mean
not coming off right.
Cavalier attitude?
Describe our date. Wasn't that cavalier?
Okay. So we did go on one date. Well, 1.5 or something.
Was it a one?
It's just one.
So before we knew,
we went on one date.
This was before we even knew each other.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. So he was in the show that I created called The Charlotte Chronicles.
Right.
But we still hadn't met.
We did meet.
Well, we met on the set, which is like, did we meet?
Okay, there's already problems, and we're not even at the first date.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we went out to dinner. Not dinner. There were no. For me, I like plans.
We went out to a place that didn't take reservations. Then they had a line, and I don't do lines. She doesn't do plans, and I don't do lines. It was Mama Shelter.
You don't do plans.
I do Mama Shelter. You see how it goes?
I'm already seeing problems.
Never work.
So I'm saying, like,
ever.
No.
But
you guys are great co-hosts.
Great co-hosts.
The energy is awesome.
Can we talk about anything else? Not at all.
Wait, hold on. Yes, we can. Yeah, maybe not. But so in cavalier, I wouldn't call that cavalier. Maybe I don't know the definition well enough to call it cavalier. You just like okay. I
start like wrapping off things that you were like, why are you saying this?
Well, this
is I'll just say things like
share this?
No, you can't share anything. You dealt way too much.
No, not about your personal stuff.
Okay.
I have been given a gift. And the gift is not only connection with people, but like when I sit across from someone, I've always been asked, like after my last boyfriend, not the boyfriend, not the guy right now, but after the last guy, it was so bad. It was like so bad. I said, please.
There was a miscommunication.
Let it be shown that every guy I go on a date with from here on out tells me everything I need to know within the first 5 minutes.
Does that even sound practical?
It was so practical.
Let me ask you a question, please.
Wait,
Michelle, let her speak, please.
There's so much to unpack here. I don't even know where to start.
Can you find out everything about somebody in the first 5 minutes?
Well,
is that a thing?
For example, we went on a date.
Hold on, let her speak. I have a question.
No.
We need a couple.
I feel like let's start with the co-host therapy first before couples therapist. That might not be a bad show, actually. Yeah. We can do like interventions like on the spot, right? Like, okay, so because we actually before we go down this rabbit hole, the two of you, can I just go back to him first?
Oh, please.
Of course, please.
Yeah, and then we'll kind of go into because I'm really interested in this whole like pattern that's going on with you with the so you kind of like you're really good at the first impression and charming and the first dates and then or what's happening?
I don't even think it's the first impression, I think the first impression isn't good. And then people like me. First impression.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the
first impression,
yeah.
like I'm so cavalier, I'm like read completely wrong. But like if someone
got it.
somehow ends up getting to know me, they're like, oh wow. And I always get I didn't think you were this way. I'm so like, I like shock people.
Really?
The more I become like, the more I get comfortable with people, I shock them because they're like, I didn't think you were this way. Oh, I didn't know you did that. They had this a whole other idea of me. And I think it's because I'm just like, I show up in a first impression standing and I don't know what I'm doing actually. I'm like, it's something weird.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
So he does really well, like when you meet him, like say like in a social setting, like here,
right?
You know, and you see all like every single person is like, we should exchange information. And I'm just like standing there laughing. I'll exchange glances at everyone and be like, oh my gosh, like love match. And then you do this thing.
Please tell everyone what's wrong with me.
No. There's nothing wrong with you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's nothing wrong with you. Like when we went on a date, he like was like, I don't know why you're going on a date with me. And then he like listed all the reasons why I shouldn't have gone on a date with him in the first 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, do you do that normally?
Well, you threw me off. There was a misunderstanding.
I throw you off.
It goes back to this.
Yeah. Well, when I was, I picked her up for the date. Mind you, it was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, well, obviously there's attraction here because she hired me as the hot guy. So I know what she thinks of me.
Got it. Right? Yeah, right.
So when I
that's
pick her
your
up,
assumption, at least.
Well, it wasn't even like I was riding on that. But if the person that hired you to be the hot guy gets in your car and goes, "We're not going to touch,"
I didn't say
and
that.
we're not gonna do anything because like I need to keep my distance from. I was like, that's fine, but like, why even go on the date at that point? Like, why don't we just wait for another day when you're a little bit more comfortable? And like we can like enjoy it, not like you're like cuddled in the corner of my car, like breathing out of the window because you're scared of like the situation at hand. And it wasn't me; it was more of like the world was in a certain place where it's like, no, I mean, if you're uncomfortable going on dates, we shouldn't go on one. Like it's a waste of time and frankly money, right? So I was like, why are we here? And then I was like, when we sat down, I was like, I really don't know why we're on this date because she was just like, oh, I just don't want to like, I'm not in a place to date right now, and I didn't really want to. I should have gone because I know you, but like I shouldn't have gone because I got to do this. And I was like, oh well, yeah, I don't know why you're on the date.
Oh, this is how we met.
Is it? Oh,
this is literally.
Oh my God!
I've never spoken to her before.
Wait, this is amazing.
I just saw it.
Yeah, the little.
Oh, you noticed me. I mean, you noticed Charlotte.
Yeah, how can I forget such a good sentence? This is Laura.
Chill.
You're not gonna go on.
This is the show that I created.
You gotta tell Charlotte to wait.
Hey.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Great. Have a good night.
You too. Bye, beautiful.
And so that's how we met.
Oh my God!
That's how we met.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's clearly some like issues, unresolved issues you guys are having because like I keep trying to go back to him and yet somehow we're going back to the two of you. But that's fine.
I'll remove myself.
No, but like what she said, are you getting feedback like that from other women? Like where?
Not like that. I've actually gotten multiple, like very different feedbacks. One liked me too much, but she didn't want to go there because she just got out of her last one. One didn't want to lead me on because we moved too fast the first date. One never answered. And then there's the ones that were, I'm talking about the ones I didn't have real control over and like, it was more incumbent upon them to leave. But there's a couple in there where I'm just like,
As a friend, I do feel you do move fast.
No, that's a thing.
Fast.
I don't.
Sexually.
Yeah.
We. Well, it takes two to tango.
Yes, I know. So I told him, I said, the next
Not
time
Jeffrey
you wanted,
Dahmer.
no, nobody said you were Jeffrey Dahmer. You're cutting off faces. Like, what is it? Is that Jeffrey
He
Dahmer?
moves fast, though. I mean,
I told him, I said, whatever you do on your next date, don't even kiss her. Just like give her a hug and like set up your next date, like almost make it one or more. And then he told me like what went down that date. And I was like, Kyle, would your future wife do that? And he was like, no, probably not.
No, she wouldn't do that.
I see like a really big question.
Yeah.
This is like, it's so simple that it may be hard.
That's why I woke up this morning.
Yeah. What do you want?
A family.
Right now, what do you want out of a relationship?
A family.
You do. You want a family.
A team.
And a team. Like, do you want a relationship though right now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And so like, does that surprise you?
No, it's just sweet. It's just so sweet because when you meet him, like if you rewind a year ago and I like heard that, I wouldn't believe it.
Well, because you met me once, which is the problem.
So something happened. So I don't think you're as a friend. I don't think the actions and words are lining up.
This is because her reaction's really interesting to me. Like, and also the pattern that you're talking about is that what you're wanting, I don't think you're showing. And there's something about vulnerability and letting people get too close to you is hard. Does that resonate with you? Or?
Literally the last date that I went on that I didn't want to end that was the thing. She was like, oh, I feel like I can't get to you. And she said it, that wasn't one of the things she said why we didn't continue, but she said that like on the date, she was like, oh, you kind of have like a stoic, what did she say? Like what was the
guarded?
Anyway, not guard. It was like smoldering. She was like, you're like smoldering. Like you're like.
Is this Jersey in you?
I don't know. I thought I was very vulnerable. In fact, I've gotten sensitive from a lot of people. Like, Kyle, you're overly sensitive.
When you get to know you, you're true. Like there were moments on our show where I was like, why didn't you say that? Like, like on our date, I was like,
oh, that's the thing. So you spoke about marketing yourself. Can't market myself. I'm a closer.
But not an advertiser.
But I can't start the marketing.
I'm a closer.
No, Andy thinks of me as like not in a sexual way, but like even like in sales. Sure. I wrote two boats at once. But what I meant was, I'm just naturally a closer. In everything.
I feel like you're looking out as somebody who's gotten to know you super, super well and like actually had the privilege of going on a date with you. Yeah, there's like a disconnect. What? No, it is. I mean, it is. It's a privilege. Because I don't date a lot. And so like I think I want the best for you. And I think alignment is super important to be like, I want this and that. I make it very clear when I go on a date with someone or that I like what I want. I take my time.
You just told us you dated Connor in 6 days after meeting him.
Yeah, but it was very that relationship was going like it was fast but slow. Like what I wanted was like and what we talked like it wasn't like I was like closing on the first date.
Yeah.
Which I think has something to do with it.
Okay, I'll say this as just like a statement. This is for everybody, just like when there's phases in relationships and datings, right? And people think about relationship phases, but dating, there's phases. And, the courtship phase is kind of the beginning, the honeymoon, and some people are really comfortable just staying there, right? And then it moves into something that's just pure dating. It's more consistent over time. You're really building trust and intimacy. And usually between that phase and then the final phase, which is full-blown committed relationship, sometimes and it sounds like there's a breakdown between the first and the third.
I don't even have a first.
Yeah, like you're not even getting right. So there's something that's happening that like there's something about trust. And I don't know if you've been hurt, but there's something that is scary to you about the intimacy part. But I'm not sure what that is.
My last relationship was 3.5 years. No, I'm sorry. It was 3 years ago, 1.5 years long. And she called me like 2 or 3 months ago and joked about how my trust was always up and down in the relationship. She joked about it, but like it was like one of those like backhanded jokes where it was like, oh, that was a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess there's got to be, because I thought about it after she said it, and I was like, Maybe there is a trust thing there. I'm not sure why I don't trust, but yeah, there's probably a trust thing there.
Have you ever like done work around that? Like gone deeper?
Yeah, not really. Dig deeper.
Dig
Not
deeper.
really. Not really. I mean, like I try to, but like by yourself, it's pretty. It just you're in like a revolving circle.
Oh yeah, no one can like do therapy on themselves. Or,
Right.
like, yeah, but that would be worthwhile to take a look at it because I always say our past is connected to the future and the choices we make and the patterns that get created.
Right.
And sometimes we're not aware of it, and it's not until like you're faced with it, you look back, you're like, there's the pattern, and it all usually starts from childhood and ascribed roles and family patterns, But
family patterns could be it. Family patterns could be it. My dad remarried when I was young. I love her. Didn't want it. Could be something there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And next on Good Day Live, we will be back.
My social security number is next, actually, if you want to get real
I love that we're being so open and authentic. I think it's important to, for people that are watching and like just,
Well, we all have so much fear, and the pandemic certainly didn't help it either. And so we're all walking around as big fear balls, and then it's hard to like trust. And then how are you supposed to have an emotional, intimate relationship when we're all, kind of walking around with that? And so like, it's interesting, like as you're hearing him be more real and talk, like, don't you get like a different feel from him? Like that's, you should hear that.
Like I love him so much, like as as a friend. And I try to, I mean, I can't do anything, but like, I'm like, dude, you got everything. Just slow it down. Just slow it down.
Gotta slow it down.
And I think for both of you and just like everything that we're talking about, there's pacing with things too, right? And so like with your situation, there's a pacing with your situation, and so it is good to pace things out to build the trust, but you have to know what you want and what's holding you back before doing that.
Probably rushing it is what I'm doing. Like, oh yeah, this works. And it's like, you don't know if it works or not, Kyle. You don't know her yet. So maybe pace it to get to know her.
Yes.
And build emotional intimacy and be vulnerable before the sex. See, sex is easy. Let's be honest. And it keeps things surfacey. Like,
yeah.
Anyone can do that, quite honestly, but it's also safer for you because then it's not, you can get the connection, you can get the quick hit. It's a drug. You get it and you feel it. And then you're like,
that's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a safer thing.
It is safer.
It is safer. But it's not.
I'm totally opposite of that.
Right. She's more, you're more a relationship girl too. And you might jump in too soon and too deep, too fast. So like you need a little of each of you in each other, which might have been the attraction to begin with. Right.
So we pulled a card on this show, which is really fun because a lot of people are like, are you guys dating? We're like, no. Oh, she saw it. We're not dating.
Yeah.
Because we get into it. But we pulled a card on our very first show, and it said that we were soulmates.
Oh yeah.
And it said this doesn't mean that this is your romantic partner. This means this is someone who's going to you're going to see a reflection of yourself and like grow from this person and learn from this person.
Yin and yang.
The yin and yang.
Yeah, for sure. Knuckles. Ow, that hurt. Brother from another brother. But yeah, no, because I see it, and I think it's interesting. I see it for him, and then he sees my situation, which is interesting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we can see each other's I'm like,
from a different angle. Yeah,
You're moving too fast, and you're like, yo, wrong dude.
Right.
I don't know if it's the wrong dude. Like she said, if you, it's the boundaries that might. Well, I think that will
help. Yeah.
Like set him straight.
Yeah.
Like this is this.
Yeah. Like this is.
It will help him. Absolutely.
I think so. Yeah.
Like it hurts, but like I think ultimately, like I have to just be like, I cannot. Like I believe in my heart that my friend, at some level, enabled the situation he was in to an extent. God, if he's watching, God forgive me. But I don't ever want to enable anyone when it comes to their health and their well-being and mine too. Like, because like looking back, it would be like, oh, well, that made perfect sense because I did da 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 da. Like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah,
I'm totally the tattletale. I'll be like, I like text messages, sister, like text message. I don't want to do that either.
Why?
Like, because like I think like I did it once. I don't need to do it again. Like I don't want to be that person. I'm ready for my the right person, the right situation. And
well, and you also want to be able to be in a situation where you're getting what you're giving.
Exactly.
And that needs to be balanced. Yeah. And it sounds like also like, you're really good at the giving part.
I'm really good at the giving.
You're very good at the giving part. You know how to do it. And that's where your confidence lives. But what you need to learn is to kind of pull back and receive.
I totally need to do that. We talked about this yesterday. I gotta
lean back and receive because she's
so much.
Yeah.
It's like the gifts.
She gives, that's her role. Like that's.
Yeah.
You're really good, Kimmy.
Oh, thank you. Well, no, look, I'm old and I've been around the block and I've been doing this for a very and it's like, we're talking about patterns. Like you start hearing patterns and knowing that you guys are not alone. Like, obviously it's not like I have a crystal ball, like, oh, I see this in you. It's like, no, this is just common stuff that people struggle with, and know that you can overcome it. It's just a matter of like owning it and then knowing what to do with it. And that's where most people get stuck. And that's why I love like the coaching so much, because I fuse together like therapy and coaching, because while sitting and talking is fantastic and we're doing a lot of like analyzing and talking, it's like then people get to the point of the now what?
Right.
Application.
It is. So I am all about like action, like creating like a dating plan, creating a relationship plan, just like a business plan, so that people actually like step into action. In fact, there's a class that I have coming up October 18th that's called Stop Hating Dating. So if anyone wants to take action and do that, you can find it on my website, KimmySeltzer.com. And I actually have a free quiz for people. I do. There's a quiz to see what is your dating diagnosis. If you want to know what kind of dater you are, I'll just go to, KimmySeltzer.com. You can find the quiz.
So cool.
And you can go through the questions and find out where you're getting stuck. Kind of like what we just, and it's a great way. It's free, just a way to get started. And then my class is on my site as well. I believe it's up at the top where it says "Work with Me," but you'll be able to find it.
That's so fun.
So
That's great.
And you're in Cosmo.
Workshops and events. That's where you can find it, y'all.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Stop Hating Dating. I love the name of that.
Yeah.
It's true, because so many people are like, oh, I just hate to date.
They hate dating, and dating should be fun.
Right.
And like everyone is so busy like trying to get to the boyfriend, to the girlfriend, that they lose sight of what is now, and just having fun and flirting and getting to know yourself in the process.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to take it back there. I like that. I think that's a thing.
What's the thing?
I think we unlocked something there. Well, because I keep jumping to the dating. Like, why don't your words match your actions, and then your actions match your words? Which means that I'm not going to try to act like I want a family. I'm just going to like act like I think I like whatever I want. Let's move a little slower.
Just be really present and work on building an emotional connection with someone and see how that is for you. Because that's why the dating process is so important.
Yeah.
People don't realize what you're really doing is you're dating yourself and you're getting to know yourself. And
love that.
Right, because people are just so wanting the relationship and the fantasy and the kids and the family, like what you just said, they're losing sight of what is right for them.
That's what I meant.
And that's what I love teaching people. So it's not like, and I say in my podcast all the time, like at the end, working on yourself is working on your dating life. People think it's one or the other. Like, oh, I'm just working on myself. I can't date right now. I'm like, what does that even mean? You're sitting there like reading self-help books and like doing diagnosis and all that. But what are you doing in application to figure out your patterns to then break them?
Yeah.
So.
Something actual.
I love it. You're
aggressive.
actually dating yourself.
You're dating yourself.
That's so cool. It's true though, because I dated this one guy in Maryland before I moved out to LA. Perfect guy in so many ways. And I was like, come to California. Let's go to California. And he was like, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, duh. It was like he was like all the right things,
except for he wouldn't. Yeah.
And I was like, oh well, this, I want some adventure. I don't want to be born and live and die in Maryland. I want to explore the world, and I always knew entertainment was calling my name, and so he was like, no. But then I went from that Mr. Perfect to Mr. Crazy.
Oh my
and I was
gosh.
like, how did I find this?
Well, I mean, it's like the pendulum effect, I call it. Like sometimes you'll be over here with one person. You're like, I don't want that. And then you go all the way to the other side and it's the other extreme. You're like, okay, that's not good either. So it's like somewhere in between would be nice, like the balance. And there are different archetypes of people. Yeah. I have a dating archetype quiz too on my website if you go there too. But it's interesting because like if you keep attracting the same kind of archetype, you're like, okay, that's also a pattern, right?
The Jungian archetypes kind of?
Yeah, like there's... Oh, that was one of my other shows. Oh my God, I can't. This is like walking down memory lane. I love this. So I did an ambush, makeover ambush. Yeah.
Oh. Is it an image ambush?
Yeah. So like in addition to the deeper work that we just kind of exemplified, like I like starting with the way people look because like, again, on your profile or walking in on a date, like your first impression is huge. And so like if you're not advertising yourself, people might be passing you by. And I love helping people get in their sexy image, you know, because that's different than like your work image, your work image is your sexy image. I'm just going to say like, these guys are sexy.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So you have that going on, you know, but so many people don't put emphasis or focus or attention on that. And so this woman, she actually, she was amazing. She volunteered to do this. And we did this live where she showed us her closet and she showed us her clothes. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not happening. So then, you know, we love Amazon so much because there's so much like actually clothes on it. I was so happy to see all the designer stuff. And so we ambushed her and I had her made over. And she said, actually, after we sent her, you know, the outfits that it was a huge difference, like on her profile pictures and like she was feeling better and sexier. So like I love the transformation. Like that's what's so cool to watch.
A lot of joy seeing the people that you work with not only find love, but like feel really confident in their body.
Oh my God, totally. Michelle, you hit it right. Like that's funny because a lot of times people come to me for love or find me the man, find me the woman. But at the end of the day, they're finding their confidence.
Yeah. Right. Awesome.
And everyone has that sticking point with different areas of confidence. There's different kinds of confidence, actually. So, you know, whether it's your social confidence, your emotional confidence, your style confidence, it's like figuring out what that is. And then again, taking action so that you change that and then put yourself in practice. So,
so cool. I love it so much. Okay. We want to play a game with you before you leave.
Oh my God. I love games. Okay.
So
obviously
when we started the show, Kyle was the very single one.
Mm-hmm.
Give you a red flag.
Oh,
and every time we would talk about a date, he doesn't like to get too personal. I like to go really personal.
I love it. Yeah, I get.
And so he would tell me like a scenario of a date, and I was like, I have this really great idea. We just get some red flags, and we talk about it, and then we'll wave the red flag with our guests to get to better know each other.
I was like dating a lot when we first started the show.
He was dating you do when you meet every person. I'm telling you, every woman that meets this guy is like ready to like exchange information and go to lunch or dinner.
That's work.
You're
doing something right. I mean, come on, like own that. He's looking all sly.
It's the jacket.
I'm like, what is that?
Hey, there's something to that, and the beads. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's stylish.
I was like, what do these mean? He's like, I have no idea.
They just look really awesome. Yeah.
But it's funny because one of the girls I was dating, she was like, that's a lot of jewelry for a man. And I thought to myself, I was like,
is it?
It's not going to work.
Red flag.
Wait, so we wave the red flag if there's something like that's off in that scenario. Okay.
It's opinionated.
I mean, they're kind of quirky, but this is a real game. I had no idea that it was.
I love it.
Oh.
Good one?
Honest.
No. For what?
Well, yeah, like what?
I know.
Like that. Okay, do another one.
I'm gonna do
I don't really get that. What? Yeah.
Oh, you want to do a scenario? Okay, that one.
Yeah, scenario.
Red flags is just like, I love you, red flags. Watch.
And honestly, like if I come back, like we should get a pink flag. We should get pink. We should get green and red because like there's like green light means go.
Okay, pink means what?
Pink means caution.
Okay.
Like it's not a total red flag, but like you file it away when you're getting to know someone because you don't have enough data yet. But if that pink folder like really it becomes the red flag.
Okay.
Right.
I love this. I want to have a dating show with Kimmy. This is amazing. We gotta have a dating show.
I don't know. We might have to
dating segment.
Yeah.
We should totally have a dating segment. I really want to do this.
Maybe there's someone we could talk to about that,
I don't
Andy.
know who we would. I mean, I kind of produce this show, and I know a producer, but you know.
I know people too.
You know people?
I do. We should compare notes.
This could be really fun. This could be really great. Okay. So jewelry.
Well,
What's
no,
the red flag?
the red flag for me was if she says she hasn't dated in like 10 years. Well, she hasn't had a boyfriend in about 10 years. Is that a red flag? I put it as a pink flag.
Pink.
I put it as a pink
Yes.
flag.
Why do you?
Yeah. Oh, we spoke about it in depth.
What did she say?
Yeah,
she was just like, I just didn't know. I haven't found like the next one. However,
The next one.
she did bring up the ex from 10 to 11 years ago and spoke about him a little bit. And I was like, okay. But then I thought to myself, it's impossible to be hung up on someone 11 years later, but maybe not.
Maybe not.
You are correct. It's a pink flag because you don't have enough information around that. And so what your job would be to collect data is see if there's patterns in what she's saying within that. Right. Like if she can't move forward, she puts a wall up, keeps talking about the like you see over time if that, because I can't call it like red flags, y'all. Like it has to be pretty brutal in the beginning, like someone stealing, abuse, things that are glaring, alcoholism or something that's really like in the beginning.
That's good.
So
clarifying what red flags really are.
I know, because that's the thing.
He drives a 95 red flag. Like, no, that's not a red flag.
Well, and here's the thing too, and I see this all the time because we all, as we date later in life, we all have had things happen to us, right? So we'll have, each of us have triggers. So what is a trigger for her may not be a trigger for you. And then like people will read on their profile, they'll see one thing that represents or resembles the ex, and they'll be like, oh, red flag, swipe left. I'm like, wait.
Oh,
that's a little bit overgeneralizing. Like, just because that person said that they like wine doesn't mean they're an alcoholic, right? So people do that. And this is why, like, when I work with people, I love like going into profiles. Like, I always tell people, no, we could do a whole segment. Like, we'll pull up the profile.
Please come back.
Like we could do that. And then like, because I like going like into, I always say like, when you're working with me, like there's no hiding. Like you can't just sit and talk to me. Like I just like show me.
Yes.
That's good. I went to couples therapy once. She was hiding the whole time.
Yeah, see, like that.
I was like, you don't know. That's not her. That's not her.
Yeah, that's
No. We gotta have me.
Gotta come back.
The show.
Okay.
I can't believe we're out of time.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, you were incredible, Kimmy. Okay, these are your cameras right here for those that want to connect with you. In the meantime, before we have you come back, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, so again, I'm Kimmy Seltzer, and pretty much you can find me anywhere on social at Kimmy Seltzer. My website is kimmyseltzer.com. Take that quiz, kimmyseltzer.com/quiz. And of course, my podcast, The Charisma Quotient.
Yes, The Charisma Quotient. You are so phenomenal. I can't wait
for you guys.
Come back.
Thanks for your wisdom.
One of my favorite episodes of all time. Being here. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a very good day, great day, and spread the good to whomever you may, and enjoy your weekend. Have fun dating.
And wave those pink flags.
Oh yeah, I like the pink flag.
That's right.